So in my YouTube audio clips, I was talking about Carlo Rovelli's treatment of the problem of consciousness in terms of entropy. And, you know, the standard physical cosmological story is that, you know, the universe began the Big Bang, which was that beginning was a very low entropy state of extremely high order, in other words. And it's sort of like, I see it as one free miracle. And I'm not knocking physical cosmologists for wanting one free miracle, because I think that's just how you do metaphysics. The thing is, I would want to be explicit as a philosopher that I'm doing metaphysics when I ask for one free miracle, whereas sometimes cosmologists skirt the issue, because a very high order, low entropy state, these initial conditions at the beginning of the observable universe that that physicists conjecture must have existed, the more you try to describe what that means, the more it starts to sound like God, I think. So let's just be explicit about that and try to be as rational and consistent and coherent as possible when we imagine this initial state of highly ordered, low entropy. Whitehead talks about this in terms of the primordial nature of God. God for Whitehead is not the absolute, is not the ultimate. For him, that's creativity. Creativity, I think, could be more or less translated, I don't know about without remainder, but a fair translation would be to think of creativity as the quantum vacuum, or the quantum void. Brian Swim likes to call it the all-nourishing abyss, out of which the universe emerges. That's creativity in Whitehead's terms. God is what physicists are calling the initial conditions of very high order. God for Whitehead is a teleological thing here. God has aims, but God's aims in this primordial state can only be aims at possibility. And so in Whitehead's terms, the primordial nature of God is the envisagement or the evaluation of the infinite possibilities available for physical actualization. God can't actualize physically these ideals that God is aiming at, though, on God's own. God needs more creatures. God needs the further unfurling of creativity conditioned by these initial values to creatively proliferate and to carry forward this initial chord that was struck at the beginning of time. And all of the other finite creatures improvise with God, and so Whitehead's God also has a consequent nature. This trail's getting a little scary here. God's consequent nature is the response to and the suffering with, the feeling of all of these many finite improvisations from all the other creatures in the universe. So God is a creature, but Whitehead's God has a special role as the creature which sets the initial conditions, the initial possibilities, which then every other creature receives as a sort of divine gift of relevance. Whitehead calls it the initial aim, or it's a divine eros, Greek term for like desire. Each finite occasion receives that initial aim and improvises on it, and the evolutionary process is a result of an ongoing call and response between God and the world. That would be the vision described at a high level in terms of these abstractions like God and world, which I think, again, we're better off thinking about as metaphysicians explicitly rather than pretending we're just doing physics. I'm happy to leave the physics to the physicists, but I think these deeper metaphysical questions are begged, and we need to treat them more explicitly.